Okay. So today we're looking at transfer goals. So the objectives for today are that participants will be able to write transfer goals. Yep. So community guidelines, I'm sure you've heard these before. We are happy you are here. If you are late or have technical issues, please join the conversation as you are able to. I know that there's some internet issues in Myanmar currently or in general lately. So if you have issues, that's okay. Just join in as you are able to. Mute yourself when you're not talking, but please remember to unmute yourself when you do want to talk. We want to be able to hear everyone. Please complete the pre-session interactive slides and the post-session feedback form. This will help us revise and develop course content. And if you have any questions or technical issues during the session, please send a message in the chat box indicating so or email us at info@hettgroup.com. Okay, my name is Lisa Vance, and I will be facilitating the class today. My co-host is Kathleen. Kathleen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hello, my name is Kathleen. I help Lisa make the slides for these trainings.
Okay, how well do you understand transfer goals, if you know anything about them? Oh, we've actually have quite a few people. I was expecting we wouldn't get very many people. So not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite well, or extremely well. You can either turn on your camera or type it in the chat box. How well do you understand transfer goals? Okay, so some twos, some threes, some twos, more twos. In your own words, what does transfer mean? So can someone tell me what transfer means? You can type it in the chat box or let me know. To move to another, moving to a different place. Yeah. Transfer, to move from one place to another. Change into one another, yeah. So based on this definition, what are transfer goals? What do you think transfer goals are? So when we're talking about transfer goals, I think we're talking about kind of your goals that you might have for a course or a module. So not just your lesson objectives, but a larger scale for a program or course or module. What are your goals for that? So it's the understanding, knowledge, or skills learned in the classroom that will be then used in real life by your students. So you're thinking about what are your students learning in your classroom, in your course, that they can then transfer to real life. can be applied in a variety of real life contexts. And it encourages students' independence because in the real world, they won't have a teacher. So how can those skills transfer to the real world where they can act independently on their own and use that knowledge or skills? Okay. Why are transfer goals important? Yeah, with education, yes. So it's your goals for your program or your course that you're doing. Um, Maybe like kind of your learning outcomes for your course. So, so to make sure that you have goals, yeah, to be more realistic and effective learning, yes. Yes, can be used in real life situations. So yeah, it prepares your students for real life. If you think of what goals or what outcomes from your course will actually help your students in their real life afterwards. It also helps increase students' engagement and focus teaching and learning. Okay. Which part of these transfer of goals is the same? So you can just type in the chat box. What part is the same between both of these? So anyone, which part of the sentence is the same? Yeah, yes, yeah. So students will be able to independently use their learning too. So this is how you can write transfer goals. So you're thinking about how the student will independently be able to use their learning. How will they be able to use what they learned on their own in the future? Okay, so there's 5 main markers of transfer goals. I assume most people won't know these, but they're application, new situations, strategic thinking, autonomy, and soft skills. So these are kind of 5 things to think about when you're making your transfer goals. So which of the 5 is this? Imagine being a school teacher whose former student called you every time they needed to add 2 plus 2. That would be annoying. When primary school teachers teach addition, they expect their students to eventually do math on their own. It is no different for university professors. With time and practice, your students should be able to apply what they've learned without needing to call on the teacher for help. So which of the 5 is that? Is that application, new situations, strategic planning, autonomy, or soft skills? You can put it in the chat box. Yes. Yes. It is autonomy. So it's important that your students have autonomy. So think about that with writing the transfer goals. When students begin to transfer what they learned in the classroom to real life, they will undoubtedly face challenges. Real life is so much more complicated than a lecture hall. Students must develop soft skills like perseverance and persistence. They have to be patient and keep themselves focused on the task at hand. Which one is this? Yes, this is soft skills. Perseverance and persistence are soft skills. So they're more. Okay. Transfer goals require students to apply their new knowledge or skills in real life situations. Outside of school, students do not need to recite a list of important figures in Myanmar's history. Instead, they may need to apply their knowledge of Myanmar's history to engage in political debates and think critically about current events. Which one is this? Apply. Think about apply. So let's look at the list. Yes. Application. Good. The purpose of transfer goals is not for teachers to prepare students for every possibility in life. That would take forever. Instead, teachers need to equip students with the universal understandings that could be applied in any number of situations. For example, an art teacher does not need to show their students every single example of art, of Burmese art from the 1500s. Instead, the professor should teach them the identifying characteristics so that students can appreciate and discuss art that they have never seen before. So which one is this? New situations. Excellent. Transfer goals also expect students to apply strategic thinking in real life. Not every problem can be solved by running through a list of equations. For example, students may apply what they learned in a physics class as they move furniture around in their homes. Students may need to apply certain lessons from their physics class, say gravity and friction, in moving heavy furniture, but they won't need to remember everything they learned, like refraction or electric currents. Which one is this? Have to kind of think. Yes, strategic thinking. Okay, you will see a poll on your screen. Choose the main marker that is being highlighted in the example. Okay. So which one is it? Tin-Yu knows that after students graduate, they will need to complete tasks on their own. He encourages them to be independent by lessening scaffolding throughout the semester. Give you about a minute to answer. Four, three, two, one. So it is autonomy. They will need to complete tasks on their own. So autonomy means like kind of by yourself. So independent. Okay, next one. Gigi learned a lot in her education classes. Now that she is teaching on her own, she chooses the best theories and methods for her students. She doesn't try to do everything at the same time. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Strategic thinking is correct. Yeah, so she has to think about what's most important. So she's kind of thinking about it. Okay, Jojo Win does her best to teach her students the content in their math class, but she also reminds them of the importance of perseverance and patience. Which one is this? Five, four, three, two, one. Everyone got this correct. Soft skills. To prepare English students for real life, Juju assesses her students by having them apply their skills in different contexts. Okay. So it is application for this one, but I understand this one, it talks about different situations. Oh, actually, sorry, maybe it is new situations. Kathleen. Sorry, is this one new situations or application?
This one would be new situations, but they are related to each other.
New situations, okay. My apologies. Okay. After memorizing a list of music vocabulary words, students use the term to describe a piece of music. Five, four, three, two, one. Application. Excellent. Okay, activity 2. In groups, you will practice writing transfer goals. So use the Pear Deck to record your goals. So let's look at some examples just to go back. So example, students will be able to independently use their learning to compare their lives with the lives of people around the globe. Students will be able to independently use their learning to evaluate their own eating habits and make healthy and nutritional choices. So try to think of goals that are like application, new situations, strategic thinking, autonomy, and soft skills. Okay. And on Pear Deck, there is a link for everyone. And then just use the arrows. And you can write. So students will be able to independently use their learning too. So here's an activity, digital or a course, digital marketing one-on-one. What could you be your transfer goal? So think of it as like maybe your, I think a lot of times you have your outcomes. So think of it as like your outcome. What is your transfer goal? What will your students be able to do independently, like after your course is finished? Okay, so there's 3 of them. And I'm going to put people into 2 breakout rooms. So work together. One person can share their screen and come up with those 3 transfer goals. I will give you, we have lots of time, so I will give you 15 minutes for now. Hey, Kathleen, would you like to turn on some music?
Clip ပေးတာလည်းမတွေ့လိုက်တယ်လို့ပဲเนาะ
Hello.
ချက်ရကောလုံး
Great. Is one of you able to share your screen or do Pear Deck?
Hello.
link share ပေး
Is one of you, are you able to do the pair deck?
Offer
တော်မှာတွေ့ပြီ ဆက်နွယ်လုံးလိုက်မလား
မရတော့အဲ့တော့ဖုန်းနဲ့ဖြစ်နေလို့ဒီချက်
ဟဲ့လားတီချာ
ဖုန်းနဲ့ရလားမသိ
ညုံတီချာ
ကွန်ပျူတာနဲ့မဟုတ်တော့ကွန်ပျူတာဖွင့်လိုက်ရမှာ
ညုံတီချာ
ကွန်ပျူတာနဲ့ဆို
တော့လုပ်
စ
နေ
နေပြန်ကြွားရ
ဒါအဲ့ဒါတခါမလုပ်
ဝင်ဟုတ်
သူဟာတော့ဝင်တော့ဝင်ကြည့်တယ်လုံတင်လုပ်ပြီးတော့ညောင်
မရဘူးတဲ့
မရဘူးဖြစ်နေ
ဖုန်းနဲ့ဟုတ်တယ်ဖုန်းနဲ့လုံပြဖြစ်ပြီးမရဘူး
ဒီမှာလေ
900ပဲကောင်းတာလားဖုန်းနဲ့
ကွန်ပျူတာနဲ့လုပ်တာတော့လေ we are having a connection issue right keep trying
Okay. Okay. How about
ကွန်ပျူတာနဲ့မရဘူးလားဟလား
just 1 second? I might be able to.
because here we it said we are having a connection issue keep trying လို့ပြောနေတယ်
Okay. Just 1 second. Let's see if this will work.
internet connection is slow
အဲ့ဒါနဲ့ SIS နဲ့
Pretty
ကိုတင်နေမှာ
Okay, just 2 seconds. Okay, so I'm putting in the chat. This is the first one.
yeah
And think of what could be a goal for a course, for that course. So you can discuss together. This is a second course.
Yes.
yes
And what goal can you come up with? And the third one. So if you could discuss those three and come up with three goals.
yes
Okay, I'm gonna go the other room.
Please, we cannot screenshot because
Okay.
poor connection. Yeah. So
Okay,
can you show?
Here, I'm gonna put it in the chat. So it's not quite spaced properly. Here, I'll do that one more time. So here's the first one. That's the first one, digital marketing. And then come up with a goal. Here's the second one, the second course. And then if you can come up with a goal for that course. And the third one. And if you can come up with, discuss about a potential goal for that course. So like if you're making a course, what could your learning outcome or your learning goal be for that course? If it's a transfer one, which is in, so you can just discuss about it and then we'll. Okay, does anyone want to share what kind of goals they came up with? Were you able to come up with any goals? So we can look at it. These are some I kind of wrote. I was just kind of pairing it around. So think of what you could use in the real world. That's okay. So maybe I have students will be able to independently use their learning to use digital marketing techniques for the digital world. You could say maybe apply digital marketing techniques for the digital world to analyze trends in social media, to be able to use their learning, will be able to independently use their learning to create online advertisements. So what could they do after the course? Okay. So students will be able to independently use their learning to compare and contrast different types of engineering. Students will be able to independently use their learning to maybe, well, it could be choose a field of engineering that they want to study. I think that could be afterwards. To understand the different fields of engineering. How could you apply that? And how they are applicable to everyday life. Okay. Students will be able to independently use their learning to analyze and write poetry following the style of 19th century 19th century masters. Students will be able to independently use their learning to apply poetic devices and explicate poems. So just think generally, I guess, what they could apply in the future. Okay. So think of your own courses. Are there any transfer goals that you could use, or just show you some examples. So English or language arts, understand the power of words and images to transform lives and provide insight into experiences of others and understanding of cultures and historical periods. History, social science, understand how reoccurring patterns in history can inform judgments about current events and other issues. Apply concepts and systems of economics to participate productively in a global economy. Math, interpret and persevere in solving complex mathematical problems using strategic thinking and expressing answers with a degree of precision appropriate for the problem context. Science, students will be able to independently use their learning to approach science as a reliable and tentative way of knowing and explaining the natural world. Apply this understanding to a variety of situations. Students will be able to independently use this learning to communicate ideas, experiences, and stories through art. So does anyone have any possible transfer goals for a course that you're teaching? Okay. So how well do you understand transfer goals? Not at all, a little bit, somewhat, quite well, or extremely well. On the count of 3, or you can type in the chat box. So 1, 2, 3, how well? Okay. To some extent. Okay, let's give you the feedback form, and I will also email it out, and a link to the Google Classroom. So next week we're going to look at knowledge goals. So just around knowledge. What goals can you have around knowledge? Okay, thank you very much. We are finished. So it's nice to see everyone, and goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.